Hello viewers, I'm Dr. K.S. Kumar once again with you, and I'm working in Siddhartha First Aid College as Associate Professor, and I'm going to talk with you about the vitamins and hormones. Some of the important things related to the vitamins and hormones are going to be discussed here. Let me see. What are these vitamins? Vitamins are the vital amines. That is, they are the very important amines, deficiency of which causes certain diseases. So, vitamins are the vital amines, they are very important amines, and deficiency of these materials causes certain diseases. And we know that these vitamins are the accessory food material along with the minerals. Of course, these vitamins are organic substances produced by plants or animals. They often are called essential because they are not synthesized in our body. Except the vitamin D, other vitamins are not at all synthesized in our body, but they are very much required to us for the growth and development as well as maintenance, and therefore they must be supplied through the diet. They must come to us from the food material. So not only do they keep your body healthy and functional, they protect you from a variety of diseases. They play an important role in the biological system, and deficiency of these vitamins may cause certain diseases. Therefore, the presence of these vitamins protect you from the various diseases. Next, we shall see how these vitamins are classified. And of course, based on the chemical nature, based on the solubility of the vitamins, vitamins are classified as the water soluble vitamins and the fat soluble vitamins. So, based on the solubility itself, the vitamins are classified as water soluble and the fat soluble vitamins. To remember it easily, the vitamin B and C are the water soluble vitamins. And of course, you know that vitamin B is a group of vitamins. Therefore, it is called as a B complex. It includes B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, B7, B9, and B12. There are a similar class of compounds, and they are collectively known as the B complex, or they are named with the B vitamins. And there is another vitamin C. And B and C vitamins are only the water soluble vitamins. Other four vitamins A, D, E, and K, they are the fat soluble vitamins. And these fat soluble, where leftover amounts are stored in the liver and fat tissues as the reserves. Okay, so this is the classification of the vitamins. You should remember this classification is based on the water solubility. The simple question may be asked in this: what are vitamins? How are they classified? Give example to each class. Next, the other important thing regarding this vitamins is vitamins and of course their sources as well as the biological function, what exactly these vitamins are going to do in the body. That is, so we can see this in this chart. You can see the vitamin B1, which is the chemical name of the vitamin B1 is the thiamine, and of course the best sources of this vitamin B1 is the cereals, and of course so that is meats, rice, pasta, whole grains, liver. These are the best sources of the vitamin B1. And of course, what is the function of this vitamin B1? So it helps the body release energy from carbohydrate during metabolism, metabolism. Of course, this is growth and muscle tone. Okay. So remember, during the metabolism, so many enzymatic reactions are actually going to take place, and for those enzymes, this vitamin B1 serves as a coenzyme many times. Okay. The next one is the riboflavin, and it is also present in the whole grains, green leafy vegetables, and organo meats, milk, eggs, etc. And of course, it helps the body release energy from the protein, fat, carbohydrates during the metabolism. Again, this riboflavin also plays an important role in the metabolism process. Next is the niacin, and of course, it is also present in meat, poultry, fish, enriched cereals, peanuts, etc., etc. And of course, it is involved in the carbohydrate, protein, and the fat metabolism. Similarly, pantothenic acid, the sources are almost identical: whole grains, legumes, meats, etc. And of course, it helps to release energy from the fats and that is their role is in the metabolism. That is folate or folic acid, that is green leafy vegetables are the sources, that is meats and dried peas, beans, etc. are the sources, and of course aids the energy and the genetic material development involved in red blood cells production. Okay, the next one is the B6. That B6 vitamin is rich in fish, poultry, and lean meats, bananas, prunes, dried beans, etc. And of course, it helps to build body tissue and acids in metabolism protein. Similarly, B12, the sources are mentioned here, and of course, it aids the cell development, functioning of the nervous system, etc. The biotin, of course, it is also rich in the cereal, grain products, yeast, etc. And it involved in the metabolism of the protein, fats, and the carbohydrates. Remember, the sources of these materials are identical almost. Therefore, these all vitamins are included as B vitamins, and therefore it is called, so many times it is called as the B complex. You know, the next vitamin, the water soluble vitamin, is the vitamin C. Vitamin C is rich in citrus fruits, berries, and vegetables, especially peppers. And of course, it is essential for the structure of bones, cartilage, muscles, and blood vessels. Of course, it helps to maintain capillaries and gums, aids in the absorption of the iron. See, in this table, I have given the certain vitamins, that is the water soluble vitamins and their sources and their exact biological role. Next, fat soluble vitamins, that is vitamin A, D, E, and K. The best sources of the vitamin A are the yellow or orange fruits, and of course orange vegetables, green leafy vegetables, okay, fortified oatmeal, and liver, dairy products, etc. So all, of course, yellow or orange colored fruits, vegetables are rich in this vitamin, and the chemical name of this vitamin is the carotene, and of course it functions in the formation of the maintenance of skin, hair, and mucous membrane. It helps people to see dim light and bone and the tooth growth. Okay, so that is the role of the vitamin A in the biological system. So next one is the vitamin D. See, it is actually the fortified milk, sunlight, and of course fish, eggs, butter, and fortified. Many times people confuse with that how the sunlight is having the vitamin D. It means when the sunlight falls on the skin, of course, some of the chemical components present in our body gets converted into vitamin D. And this is the only vitamin but the human beings can synthesize. All other vitamins are synthesized in plants only. They have to be supplied through the diet. And of course, this vitamin D is helpful in this process. The next one is the vitamin E. And of course, this is fortified and malgrained cereals, nuts, wheat, germ, vegetable oils, green leafy vegetables, etc. And of course, it protects the blood cells, body tissue, and essential fatty acids from harmful destruction in the body. Vitamin E plays an important role in the biological system like this. And among the fat-soluble vitamin, the last one is the vitamin K. And of course, it is present in the green leafy vegetables, fruits, and dairy products, and of course, the grain products. And it is essential for the blood clotting functions. And I mentioned the biological functions of these many vitamins. biological functions, and deficiency of these vitamins causes certain diseases, and of course that I'm going to tell you in the next slide. This is one of the information, that is how these vitamins plays an important role as coenzyme. And let us see which vitamin part or which vitamin derivative is there in a which coenzyme. Here you can see the vitamin A. The vitamin A is, sorry, the vitamin A is involved in the thiamine pyrophosphate. TPP is a coenzyme. It plays an important role in the metabolism, and this vitamin A, of course, it is cis retinal is the associated coenzymes, and of course it is involved in the visual cycle reactions. Importantly, I need these things, and this thiamine, that is B1, is thiamine pyrophosphate, and pyridoxine, that is vitamin B6, is a pyridoxyl phosphate, and this cobalamin, that is vitamin 12, is involved as coenzyme, that is in the cyanocobalamin. Not only this one, vitamin D, vitamin is involved in the dihydroxy cocalciferol, and of course vitamin E, K plays the same role. And the biotin is involved as biocytin coenzyme, and the coenzyme associated with the folic acid is the tetrahydrofolic acid. Similarly, lipolicin is in the with the lipoic acid, and of course niacin vitamin has got the nicotinamide nucleotide. You are all familiar with this NAD plus and NADP, and which are the things which plays an important role in the metabolism. And of course the vitamin part in those things is the niacin. Similarly, pantothenic acid is the actually will be there in the coenzyme A. Okay. The next is the last is the riboflavin, and of course you are familiar with this FMN and FAD, which are the involved in the TC, that is ETC, as well as in the metabolism process. And you have the list of vitamins and the coenzyme part. This is important from the examination point of view. The next, this is an important table, that is the vitamin and the disease which is caused by the deficiency of that vitamin. Remember the name of this disease. The vitamin A leads to the disease called night blindness. That is the eye functioning. The night visibility will be decreased due to the deficiency of the vitamin A. Okay. To avoid this one has to consume the things which is rich in the vitamin A. That is the red colored vegetables, red colored fruits, etc. And vitamin B1 is responsible for the beriberi. And of course, the disease called beriberi, and its symptoms are nervous health. It leads to the nervous disorderness. And vitamin B2, so of course, the disease is cataracts. That is a development on the a layer, that is a layer on the, that is related to the eyes health. The next one, B3, is pellagra. Pellagra is nothing but the nervous related disease. Scurvy, the disease scurvy is due to the deficiency of the vitamin C, and the symptoms of the scurvy are the gum or blood vessels health, of course. The next one is the rickets, that is the bone or teeth related disease, and of course, so that is due to the vitamin T. And of course, vitamin E is responsible for the skin disorders. Okay. Vitamin K is responsible for the bleeding problems. Of course, aid in blood clotting. That is the vitamin K. If the vitamin K is deficient, and the blood clotting takes larger time. Therefore, there will be more bleeding. And these are some of the vitamins you should remember. The diseases you should have to remember, which is due to the deficiency of the concerned vitamins. So these tables are very useful, and you can concise these tables. What you are supposed to know, you should know what is the vitamin. You should know what is its chemical name. You should know what are the sources of those vitamins. You should know what is the biological role of that vitamins. And finally, you should know so what is the disease caused by the deficiency of that particular vitamin. Usually in examination, so they ask you to write the disease caused by the particular vitamin. They will give the name of the vitamin and name the disease that is caused by the deficiency. Sometimes the vice versa will be there. And name of the vitamin they will give, and you are supposed to write the coenzyme that is related to that particular vitamin, like that. Okay. The next topic in this talk is the hormone. So what is that hormone exactly? Hormone is a substance produced in one part of the body and carried through the bloodstream and do its work in another part of the body, that is in the target cell, and gets inactivated. So let us see one by one. The hormone is a chemical substance. It's a chemical substance that is made by the specialist cells, usually within an endocrine gland, and it is released into the bloodstream to send a message to another part of the body. And that is what I insisted upon it. So it is secreted in the endocrine gland, ductless glands. And of course, it is released in one place and carried through the bloodstream to the other part. And of course, it is often referred as the chemical messengers. So these hormones are actually the materials which acts as the catalyst for the catalyst, actually enzymes. So the enzymatic activity is controlled by these hormones. Okay, hormones are found in all multicellular organisms, and their role is to provide an internal communication system between cells located in distant parts of the body. Of course, they are secreted in response to some physiological response and become inactive after their function. Okay, so they are secreted. Most of the hormones are secreted in response to some physiological processes. That is, you are all familiar with the insulin. Insulin is an hormone, and of course, it is secreted in the body whenever the blood glucose level goes high. Once the blood glucose level come to the normal stage, so the secretion of this hormone stops. So similarly, many hormones are like this, and they are synthesized only in response to certain physiological processes. Of course, these hormones affect many physiological activities, including growth, metabolism, appetite, puberty, and fertility. And the important phenomena, so that is affected by these activities. So hormones plays an important role in this, that is the growth and metabolism, appetite, that is the regarding the digestion, puberty, and the fertility. So let us see what is the next thing. So what are how these hormones are classified? There are various classifications for the hormones, and one of the important method of classification of the hormone is based on the chemical nature. We classify these hormones as amino acid derivative hormones, peptide or protein hormones, and the steroid hormones. What are these amino acid derivative hormones? These hormones are made up of the amine, that is the amino acids. That is amino acid hormone is a derivative of the amino acid, like that. That is tyrosine is a best example. That is the T3, T4, epinephrine, of course, epinephrine is another hormone synthesized here. So this is the most, tyrosine plays a very important role in forming the many hormones. Of course, the next class of hormones are the peptide hormones. Many of the peptides serve as an hormone. These hormones are made up of few amino acid residues only and present as simple linear chain. The very important peptide hormones are the insulin, glucagon, and oxytocin, vasopressin, etc. And this oxytocin and vasopressin consist of only 9 amino acid residues. Even though they contain only 9 amino acids, they play a significant role in the biological system. They are involved in a particular biological activity. Okay. So next class of hormones are the steroid hormones. And of course, they are made up of the lipids which basically derived from cholesterol. So cholesterol is the important compound in production of the steroid hormones. So the example for that are the testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, etc. Majority of these hormones are the sex-related hormones. So the question may be very simple. What are hormones? How are they classified? Give example to each class of hormones. In the next slide we shall see what is the mechanism of action of a hormone. Particularly, I took the example of the glucagon hormone, how actually it functions. I have given some points related to the mechanism of the glucagon hormone. That is, glucagon binds its receptors in the plasma membrane of target cells. Okay, that is, the next bound receptor interacts with, and though a set of G proteins turns on adenylate cyclase, which is also an integral membrane protein. Then activated adenylate cyclase begins to convert ATP to cyclic AMP, resulting in an elevated intracellular concentration of CAMP. CAMP is very familiar, that is cyclic adenosine monophosphate. High levels of CAMP in the cytosol make it probable that protein kinase, that is kinase A, of course, will be bound by the CAMP and therefore catalytically active. The active protein kinase A runs around the cell, adding phosphates to other enzymes, thereby changing their conformation and modulating their catalytic activity. So levels of CAMP decrease due to the destruction by the CAMP, that is phosphodiesterase enzyme, and the inactivation of adenylate cyclase. In the above example, the hormone's action was to modify the activity of pre-existing components in the cell. Elevation in CAMP also have an important effect on the transportation of certain genes. This is some of the important features of the general mechanism of the hormonal action. Let me see another concise explanation for this hormonal mechanism. Some of the hormones that achieve their effects through CAMP as a second messenger, that is adrenaline, glucagon, and of course they all follow this one. So binding of the hormone to its receptor activates. The next, a G protein, which in turn activates adenylate cyclase, and the resulting rise in CAMP turns on the appropriate response in the cell by either or both changing the molecular activity in the cytosol, often using protein kinase A, CAMP dependent protein kinase that phosphorylates the target proteins. So of course, turning on a new pattern of gene transcription. So this is the simplified version of the hormonal action, that is hormonal mechanism. If you write this information, it is sufficient. That is the explanation for the mechanism of the hormonal action, that is by the second messenger concept. Okay. The next we shall see the last part of this talk, that is the biological role of some hormones. I have listed some of the hormones, and I want to mention the biological role of these hormones. The first one is the somatotropin. And of course, it's a polypeptide hormone that contains 191 amino acid. The main role of this hormone is to form muscle mass and help keep your body working normally. It stimulates the liver and other tissues to produce the insulin, the growth factor 1. That's the role of this somatotropin. It helps to keep your body working normally. It helps to form the muscle mass in the body. The next one is the insulin, and of course, this insulin is a very, very familiar hormone, and that is it helps to control blood glucose. Okay, and of course, whenever the blood glucose level goes high, this insulin secretes and converts that glucose to glycogen and maintains the blood glucose level. The next one is the glucagon. It is again a peptide hormone, and of course both these insulin and glucagon are produced in the alpha cells of the pancreas, and of course this glucagon is one which increases the blood glucose level. Suppose if the blood glucose level falls down, this glucagon converts the glycogen to glucose. The next three hormones are the steroid-related hormones. This progesterone is a hormone released by the corpus luteum in the ovary. It plays an important role in the menstrual cycle and in maintaining the early stages of the pregnancy. It may also be involved in the growth of certain cancers also. The next is the estrogen, and of course it's a steroid hormone, carries physiological messages to body organs and system, and these messages differ for each body organ and the system. Estrogen sends messages to the uterus to grow and replace the lining that is shed during the previous menses. The next one is the androgens. It plays a major role in the development during the puberty, that is supporting the production of the sperm and final stages of the maturity of sex organs. The function of androgen hormones in the sperm production continues throughout the adulthood. And these are some of the 5 hormones that are mentioned in our globe syllabus and their biological role in the system. So next one, of course, what are the questions that are possible in this chapter? So we should remember one by one, that is the questions possible in this chapter. So what are vitamins? How are they classified? It should include both vitamin definition and classification. The next is the name of the vitamins and their chemical names and sources of the vitamin and biological function. This is also the vitamin, the same thing related to the any of the vitamin may be asked, and their chemical name may also be asked. The next one is name of the vitamin. What is the name of the vitamin and related coenzyme? If they give the name of the vitamin, you are supposed to write the name of the coenzyme so concerned. And if the coenzyme is given, you may be asked to write the vitamin associated with that coenzyme. And the next thing, what is the disease that is noticed, that the disease that is noticed due to the deficiency of the vitamin. And you have to remember these disease names and the concerned vitamin deficiency. The next, and of course, what are hormones? How are they classified? Give example to each class. The next question is the mechanism of the hormone action. As far as the examination is concerned, if you write this information, it is sufficient. They usually ask you to give the mechanism of the hormonal action by second messenger concept, or explain how the CAMP, the second messenger, is helpful for the hormonal action. Lastly, the list of these hormones, and they will give the name of the hormones, and you are supposed to give the biological role. Thank you very much, and these are the important questions. Thank you for your patient hearing. Once again, if you have any doubts, you just send your mail and or telephone to me. I can clarify this. From the examination point of view, this information is sufficient to get all the marks in this chapter. Thank you very much. Thank you once again. And if you like this video, you just subscribe to this channel and give your likes and comments. Thank you.